This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of their affiliated organizations.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Ready to Connect. I'm Ryan.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Lisa.
And today is the first episode of this brand new podcast. We are so excited. We're going to be discussing metaphysical topics. There's a wide range to discuss. But today we just thought we would be able to introduce ourselves and get to the origin stories of maybe how we came about with our different gifts and how we all met, and even a story about how we came up with the name. So should be a good story. So who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
So a little bit about me. I'm Lisa. I live in Coventry, Connecticut with my husband. Proud mom of 3 children and 1 grandson, just newborn.
Yeah.
I've been working in the world of holistic health and in psychic mediumship in our business for about 11 years now. 11 or 12, we figured this out. And 11 years since 2014. How about that? Known I've had a gift since I was a child, but I've come to use it for people in help of people since 2014. But more on that later. A little bit about me. I'm an avid reader. I love to read, listen to books, ebooks, physical books. I'm a little bit now more of a buyer of books than a reader of books. I have too many books. I love to read. Cat owner. Love my cats. They're just my babies now that my children are all grown and have left me. I was a former teacher of elementary school and special ed, and now I work with Heather at Serenity Grove Wellness Center doing Reiki healing and psychic mediumship and art for healing, expressive art healing. So it's a little bit about me. Love the beach too. I don't know if that's important for anybody, but a little bit about me. What about you?
I'm Heather, and don't know how to talk about myself, but I'm the other half of Serenity Grove Wellness Center, and all my life I've had profound experiences, and so I was really blessed to be fostered with my profound experiences with the metaphysical world and spiritual world, and becoming a mom enhanced that. My daughter, too, has way different gifts than I do, but she's amazing. And I too live in Coventry, Connecticut. I'm so grateful for being able to be here and being able to talk about this and getting it out into the world, because I think it's a real thing that gets kind of poo-pooed on or gets a lot of taglines that maybe aren't necessary. So I'm excited.
And you're a lover of the beach too.
I love the beach. I love animals. I'm always trying to save an animal. I'm always trying to be a friend with an animal. um, I think I walk my world, walk the world with a different veil. So I try to see beauty in everything. I think it's really important.
Well, I'm Ryan. Let's see. What can I share about myself? So I'm a former teacher as well. I taught special ed for a while. And now I co-own the company Artist Haven Media. We're located in Vernon, and that's where I live as well, Vernon, Connecticut. So that's been fun, switching over from teaching into marketing. It's a different realm, but it's also enjoyable. It's still rewarding. As for, let's see, spiritual gifts and everything, I've always known, likewise what you were saying. I've always known ever since I was a child that there was something unique going on, or at least it felt like it. And so yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of what else to say.
You love birds.
I do love birds. I was just gonna say that. Thank you. You read my mind. Yeah.
Might be psychic.
Yeah, you might be psychic. I love birds. To be quite honest, I love crows. I get excited when I see the crows in my backyard because I know they're protecting other birds. And I enjoy animals as well. And most recently, I've gotten into looking at values of coins. So I do have an app on my phone that I scan coins. And that's what I've been doing in my spare time now.
Do you do healing with the animals?
Oh, good question. No, I haven't tapped into that, but I've been thinking about it. So,
You
Absolutely.
should.
yeah.
You
It's a lot
should.
of fun to be able to go and work with an animal that is either sick or healthy or
Hmm.
needs a question answered for their owner. And there's such beauty when you can be in their space versus like them coming to your space,
Hmm.
right? So we should do that,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
She immediately became aware that I was clairaudient but didn't have words for it at that point in
Hmm.
time. When I met my beautiful business partner over here, she was sitting at the table and we're talking and we're going through things, and she takes a pen, the one that has the clicky top,
Yeah.
and she's sitting
There's one
there.
right there.
There's one right there, doing the click 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 repetitively.
Oh.
And I gently just put my hand on her. Now I barely knew this woman at this point, and I was just like, mm-hmm.
She took the pen from my hand.
I did
You
not.
did. Oh, you did. You took the pen very
I did not.
carefully. Took
I just
pen.
stopped you from clicking
No, you
it.
took the pen from my hand. So then I immediately went to drumming my finger on the table,
Hmm.
just because that can be my sense of humor, a little stinker sometimes.
But that repetitive sound just mm, is like white noise for me. So it just makes all the voices like cue into it and it gets louder for me. So,
Hmm.
and clairaudience for me is not always internal, it's external. It's
Hmm.
um hearing things beyond that veil, I guess is the best way to put it, like from spirit to the spirit physical world. But I know you're a musician
Yes.
and music must be so auditory for you.
Yes.
Um, tell me about that.
Yeah. So going off of what you were saying, like ever since I was a kid, I would be listening to music and I could pick up like certain sounds in the music that other people couldn't hear. I remember I had a music teacher that I was taking lessons from, guitar lessons, and I was showing her this song from a band at the time. And I was like, "Oh, do you hear that piano part in the background? It sounds great, like playing the chords like this." And she looked at me and she's like, I don't hear it. And then 10 seconds later, all of a sudden you hear the piano ramp up. And I'm like, yeah, but it started earlier. And she's like, I did not hear that.
I
So
remember when you were taking classes with us and
yeah,
we went to the clairaudient piece and
yeah,
we had an exercise where we played music and I said, just focus on the cello. And you're
yeah.
like, yeah, got it. I'm like, okay, that was quick. Now focus on the flute. Got it. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. As a kid, and I still do it to this day too, where I see it as like a game,
Yeah.
like to try to pinpoint, like, oh, okay, like this is the cello, here's the piano part. And I just think it's fun to be able to pick that out. But then over the years it morphed into like now writing my own music and everything, or for our band, uh the wizard behind the curtain over here, we have a band called Waiting for London. I guess promoting this now.
Yeah.
And a pop rock band or alternative band. And
It's
right,
K-pop, right?
yeah, yeah. um so we write original music. And it it's interesting because now it gets to the point where I'll just wake up in the middle of the night because I'm hearing like a melody or lyrics or something that I have to record right then and there. And so now it's at the point where I pick up my phone. Thankfully, I'm not trying to record in other ways like I used to a long time ago. But and I just have the sound recorder and
Yeah,
just
you don't
record
have
it.
the extra digitals and yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Try to find a microphone and so
Yeah.
yeah. Um
But one of the
yeah.
ways to definitely build on your clair auditory is to listen to all spectrums of the music, right?
Yes, yes.
And try to hone in on one sound and stay with that sound. And
Yes.
that really helps your eardrum and your body energy frequency, because as an auditory person, I pick up frequencies too.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like I can hear thunder before, like animals, they feel the thunder, right? Or
Yes.
they hear it or sense it before, far before we do. And sometimes they feel like that, like I can hear it way off in the distance and
Mhm.
I know it's coming. um
I feel that energetically.
and you feel it energetically,
It
is
Oh,
the
the
interesting.
clairsentient
clairsentience.
comes in like
Hmm.
even when someone is getting close to the house, I can feel that energy, but the
Yeah.
sound is what you're picking up on. It's interesting because with clairaudience, we're talking about hearing sound outside the ears, right? And I
Yes.
think if we can equate that, maybe there are some people who are joining us that could have experienced such a thing where you're sitting and you can hear faint music, but you can't find where that music's coming from.
Yep.
Or you hear muffled voices talking and you're like, but I'm here by myself. There's no TV on or whatever. And you kind of like go looking for it. And then you realize, all right, I'm hearing something then that is beyond the veil. It's almost like seeing out of the periphery and you go to look and it's gone. You can hear that through the veil. Your spiritual posse, your support system, particularly if you're alone and you're needing help, they're always going to be around you giving support. And so you're more likely to hear it. And a lot of times it's happening, a lot of times in the evening, so people get a little more spooked by things like that. But I have heard my guides talk to me in that period of time between sleep and awakeness, that hypnagogia state where you're not quite asleep, you're not quite awake. And I can hear my name being called. I know my daughter's heard her name being
I
called
hear
to
my
wake up.
name all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Not always in English
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's interesting because I think it's important to note that when you hear voices from your guides or your angels or your spirits, it's not always going to sound like they used to sound, because it comes through that energy of the spiritual veil there. So their voice might sound very much higher, like a high pitch, like Mickey Mouse talking, or
really
very low, like a
and
growl or a guttural thing. And so people, because it's low and it sounds like it's like,
guttural.
evil and things, people think it's evil, but it's really just grandma doing her best, to
Right.
talk to you. And
Right.
because I remember being woken up with hi, like that. I'm like, what is that? And it was
Mickey
my
Mouse is
guides.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? How you doing? Kind of thing. It's funny because I'll have to clear it up, but I do believe my youngest son had a clairaudient experience driving home from college one day, and he was driving a car that used to belong to his grandfather. And there's this wonky intersection. It's like 5 corners, and his light, he was first at the light and it had turned green,
Mhm.
and he was about to go, but he heard very clearly, stop or don't go. I can't remember
Yeah.
the exact words. So he didn't. And a truck blew through the
Oh,
light.
wow.
And so he definitely would have been T-boned, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he was so excited to come home and tell me that because he thought, this is an angel, right? Angel was talking to me, right? Right, Mom? Angel. Because he always wanted to have a feeling. I'm like, no, that was Grandpa. He was probably driving with you. He didn't want you to break up his car. But you can get these kind of like hearing that one
Yes.
word or that something, and it might sound off, you
Right.
know?
One of the things I love about being clairaudient is
Another common sign would be the interruption of electronic equipment.
Yes.
And this can show up in many
absolutely.
fashions: lights flickering,
Mhm.
the volume of
the
TVs
name
or
of our
radios going down.
podcast.
What?
Yes.
What's that?
The name of our
The
podcast.
name of our podcast is
Yes.
a perfect example of how our name was chosen. And, with that electrical equipment constantly telling us ready to connect until we finally decided on that name and then it stopped.
Mhm.
Lights flickering are very common to know
Yes.
that energy or loved ones are with you. The lights will flicker, and we'll often get that messages. I'll manipulate the light somehow, and the energy of spirit, somehow it's easier for them to manipulate electrical energy. Yeah, in our
Yeah.
Previous
in
podcast.
our bonus content on Patreon,
Yes.
you can see how Gregory manipulated the flashlight, right? To give answers. Yeah, all kinds of
Gregory's
things.
also a toucher. Do you feel him
Sometimes.
often? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a really interesting story about electronic and manipulation that happens all the time in my house, with things manipulating, going on and off, TV channels changing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Back in the day when I had an iPod, now it's just my phone.
Mhm.
It would constantly change tracks on me
Oh,
to
really?
different music stations. Yep, that kind of thing. But one of the more powerful experiences I had, I was in a morning meditation and I was really trying to connect with my guides, and, pretty high ascended, powerful energy. And I was in meditation and I was just really feeling the energy of my guides and asking for a sign. And as I sat in meditation, the fireplace face of the fireplace blew away,
Really?
and then all the lights in my kitchen chandelier blew, one bulb after another, pop, 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 pop.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, I asked for a sign, and now I have to replace all those light bulbs.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Be
mean,
specific in
it,
what sign you want.
yeah,
Yeah,
flicker the
exactly.
light. Don't blow
Yeah.
out the light bulbs. Flicker the light.
Yes.
You know, and I had to go, fix the fireplace. But
Wow.
it's really kind of interesting. You've had
Oh,
electronic
yeah.
manipulation in your house.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you experienced anything like that?
Yes, yeah, a lot of things like that. But I'd say one of the most profound things I've witnessed recently was a while back. I was watching TV and flipping through the channels, and I remember this. I clicked on I had movies playing, and I clicked on the movie. It's probably some movie with like Nicolas Cage in it. I don't know, but anyway, I clicked on it, and then
Okay, now we know something else about you,
yeah,
Nicolas Cage fan.
yeah, and I clicked on it thinking, oh, okay, like expecting to see that, but then okay, here we're gonna go full circle here from earlier. But then what was on The Wizard of Oz?
Oh.
There
And
you
I was
go.
like, wait a second. But come to find out, that was on a different channel, even though I clicked on
That channel.
that channel. So I was like, okay. But I took it as a sign.
Absolutely.
It was just incredible.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and then my roommate, after her father passed, her and her family experienced something similar where the TV in different rooms, because her mother had this happen and the sister had this happen too. In different rooms, the TV changed the channel to he loved watching westerns. So it changed the channel to a movie like that.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yep.
yeah.
These are just ways that they let us know they're around and with
Yeah.
you. So if any of our viewers or listeners have had these experiences, just be comforted by the fact that
Yes.
these loved ones are with you. Don't take it as something that's scary.
It's
Yeah.
also
I should
cool.
say.
It's
So cool.
incredible
Yeah.
to see that happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you can't place who is
Yeah.
watching, like, just again, I don't think there's a coincidence. So, like, I'm just grateful that someone's watching over me.
Yes,
You know?
exactly. Yeah.
And it's interesting as I look, and I was just checking the time, and I see the number 1111. It leads me to
Mhm.
the last common symbol, which is numbers or
Yes.
repetitive numbers that you might see. So there are some high in numerology. 1111 is seen a lot. That's known as a master number. A lot of repetitive numbers like 444. I know
Mhm.
that Heather and I will text each other sometimes. Hey, it's 444, which means angels are watching. I think the first time Grandma's hawk showed up, it was 444.
Yeah,
And your grandfather
I
does
have
444 a
a
lot.
personalized, yeah, 444 is pretty significant. When my grandfather passed, he passed at 444.
Oh wow.
And the last time I saw my grandfather alive was at 444. And my grandmother had
Wow.
called me at 5 o'clock in the morning to tell me, like, around 4:30-ish.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being like she was able to name that. Like, it was actually 444. And I was like, really?
Wow.
So my grandfather's often associated with, for me personally,
Mhm.
the 444 angel number that he's watching. And
Hmm.
it's really quite interesting how it all kind of correlated
Mhm.
with around it. But yeah, so, and there's 222, 333.
Yeah, any of the
Right.
repetitive numbers.
And it doesn't even have to be a repetitive
No, it
number.
doesn't.
Like, there's an angel book out there that's been written. There's just several different angel books out there. Like, you could just Google spiritual meaning of 9/11. Why did I see the number 9/11 or
Right.
320 or 420 or whatever,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, so it's cool. Numbers are important too.
A lot of
Absolutely.
people note the time of things, you
Yeah.
know. A lot of people wake up at the same time
Yes.
every night, or they always are whenever they check their watch or their phone for the time, it's always the same time, whether it's 11:20 in the morning or 11:20 at night, it's always 11:20.
Wow.
Or they're out and they see 11:20 on license plates numbers, or, whatever it might be, 1120 is showing up, or 913, or whatever the number is, and they see it a lot on license plates. I had this um person I knew that kept seeing the number 8 all the time, no matter where they looked. Always the number 8, 888 everywhere. And 8 was about abundance and change. And interesting
Hmm.
to see these numbers that show up. So sometimes those numbers that you see can relate to a date. It can relate to an angel number you can look up for the message.
How about cold spots? Have you ever felt a cold spot? Like, you're just sitting there and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I feel that.
We're going to get to that next week.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
segue.
All
That's
So
a
right.
good-
next week,
good
yeah.
segue, yeah.
So next week we're going to talk about the less common
Okay.
signs of spirit.
Sorry,
and
I
Heather just
jumped
gave
the
one
gun.
away. The cool stuff. Yeah.
But it's something to look forward to.
Yes.
Yeah, something
So,
to
yeah.
look forward to. So
In the meantime, everybody can put some comments in.
yeah, we'd
Yeah.
love to hear what
what their
other
signs are.
we would love to hear if anyone's ever had those type of signs show up for them. So part of what Heather and I do in our classes, in our mentorship, is to work with people to develop or strengthen their clairvoyant ability, whether it's your strongest clair or not. And there's a way to kind of determine that we go through. But there's different things that you can do and activities you could do to strengthen that whole ability. I would start first with keeping a dream journal.
That's a good idea.
And willing yourself to dream and remember them and start with that.
That takes a lot of work, though.
It
You have to
does.
train your body
Yep.
to be able to roll over and either hit a record button
Yep.
and you just
Yeah.
blurt it out and listen to it in the morning, or you literally train yourself to be able to grab a pen and write that down.
Right.
Because normally when you wake up, if you don't grab that message in that hypnagogia state, right, where you're fully awake to where you're still kind of in dream state, you're not going to remember what they said.
No,
So,
yeah.
Right.
But it's a great place to start. If you wanted to see auras and auric vision, there's certain eye exercises you can do to kind of train your brain, so to speak, on seeing color where there typically isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And those, it's hard to explain through words without actual the exercise in front of you to strengthen clairvoyance. I mean, we do an activity too, just of memory to gather as much detail. I think it's just asking for the help. So I think becoming more aware of symbols around you is a great place to start. These are all the lead-ins to then possibly seeing spirit. And if you want the skill of clairvoyance, and I remember early on in the relationship of Heather and I thought, well, that'd be really cool to be clairvoyant. You know, maybe that's the skill I would love to really develop more. And so I started asking for more clairvoyant activities and more clairvoyant experiences and activities. And I remember I was talking with my husband. We were sitting there, and all of a sudden, smoke just started undulating out of me and around. And I'm like, my initial reaction was, "What the f is that?" And
Am I
I'm
on
like,
fire?
because my husband and I were not smokers. There's no candle on. Where's this smoke coming? My husband's looking at it, and I remember I remember texting Heather. I'm like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah, not
You know, I
smoking,
talked to her about it. She goes, "Well, you asked to be more clairvoyant, spirit showing itself to you." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you know what? I don't need to see that. I'm fine with just feeling and knowing." Sometimes we're not meant to end the auric sight's fine. You know,
Right.
sometimes, the gifts that we have. Yeah. So if clairvoyance is something that you feel you've had that experience, start being hyper aware of symbols and signs that are happening around you. Look at clouds,
Look
cloud
at clouds.
There you go,
formations.
yeah.
Start trying to see pictures. You know,
Are the abilities always on? This is a great
This is
question.
a great
another question from
Yeah.
sent in to us. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they for me,
Yes.
they're always on. Yes. It's a
Always.
matter of being able to have a boundary of whether you decide to use it or recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
There must be a part 2 to that. Like, is it always on and does it bother you?
Oh, yes.
That would be the next
Yes.
part I think I would
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah, it's a good follow-up question to that.
As far as it always being on, yes. You have to create boundaries. You have to
Mhm.
create borders. You have to create, this is when I'm on and this is when I'm not on. One of the things that Lisa and Pry ourselves on is when we're teaching a class, everybody comes into that classroom with their spirit guides or their loved ones or their animals, and we're going to see it, hear it, feel it, whatever's going to happen. But our job at that moment is not to be the clairvoyant or the psychic. Our job is to teach you how to do this.
Right.
So you kind of put it into the background. As a parent, I equate it to this way, and I'm sorry, Marcella, if you're listening. But like when Marcella was a little girl, she used to be in the back seat and she would just talk, 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 talk. She talked from the minute she woke up to the minute she fell asleep. And so at some point when you're driving, You just tune it out,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's background noise until obviously she's yelling at me, Mom, like, Mom. And you're like, oh, sorry, honey. But like, you have to just put it behind the scenes. Like, you have to just kind of let it be in
Yeah,
the
all
background.
the
Right.
mothers out there will understand it when we say the mom or Chris, the dad over there, dad, 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 and or mom, 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 and it's tuned out until you have that time, or not that time, but you take that moment to recognize the child or whatever, and then all of a sudden you hear or feel or see everything they want you to see, right?
Right.
It's like it's like I remember my daughter with gymnastics. Watch this, Mom. Watch this, Mom. Chris is shaking his head. He must get this with his kids. Watch it, and he's cracking me up over there because he's so hot, and I want to turn that air conditioner on him. But sorry, but watch this, and like you're busy doing something, and until you take that moment to look up and see it,
Yeah.
that's when it happens. It's sort
Right.
of
Right.
with your gifts. But I want to say, because we firmly believe everybody has gifts.
Mhm.
And so the next question might be, well, if it's always on, why am I not always psychic then? And
Mm.
I think the reality of our life and society is if we're such a go, go, go society here in America, in a lot of Western worlds, right? That we're so hyper focused on the next thing we need to do, the next thing we need to do, that we're not taking that moment to be more aware of what is our inner self is saying or what the guides around us are showing us.
Right.
And because this is our job, right? Part of our livelihood, we take those moments. It's just
Mm.
part of what we do and how we conduct our life. So for you, Ryan, I mean, is it always on for you?
I feel like it depends. I agree with you. If I'm slowing down and not always go go go, then it comes more easily. That like I will get the signs and messages, but if I'm distracted by whatever else is going on, then no, I'm gonna be kind of tuning it out in a way, keeping it in the background.
Yeah.
But it does come. Actually, it like every single night when I'm going to sleep, that's when it's like right there, and it's so easy to get the messages there.
And that
So
happens because you're relaxed.
right,
You're not
yeah,
overthinking. You don't have to
right,
take the dog out. You don't have to
yeah,
do the dishes. You don't
yeah,
have to, you just need to go to sleep at this moment.
right,
So
right.
that's when they're like, oh, yeah, here we come. We got lots to tell you or show you,
Yep,
and they get really excited.
You
yeah,
said the right word, relax. One of the
yes,
first things we do with our students when we do the connection piece with
mhm,
our mentees and our mentorship, when we do any kind of connecting or having them practice reading, is what do we say first thing? Relax your body.
mhm,
And you can't really be a good channel for messaging if you're not relaxed.
right,
But you're also, when you're in a reading, if you come in and you're all that tense, like you're all tensed up and you're trying to like not let us feel or see or hear any of what's going on, it makes doing a reading very hard because there
that's
is
understandable.
information on the
Yeah,
internet that says don't tell them anything.
right,
Don't don't give them any body cues or facial cues, don't give them any information. I'm not a mind reader.
right,
I need to talk this out with you because they're not my memories. So
right,
what I'm seeing is your memory. And it just you need to just kind of relax
right,
because once you relax your body system, your blood pressure comes back down, everything just is calm,
mhm,
and then that's when the energy can start ebb and flowing again.
mhm.
But we've been in readings where people cross their arms and cross their legs and they stare at you with this grim look and you're like,
Oh,
whoa, this is supposed to be fun.
yeah, yeah, wow,
Like, I'm sorry, but
yeah,
yeah, so it's important to relax. Relax all of your ears, your jaw,
right,
your torso, the trunk of your torso and just like your hips, and let the energies just kind of go from the floor back up to the
mhm,
it makes things a lot more fluent. And I think anybody here can say when they've been in a conversation when someone's really stressed out, you can feel,
yes,
and some people can even see that like little wall that's actually there because they're just so nervous or whatever, right?
right, right,
So it's a matter of dropping some of that tenseness. And so that's why spirit comes so easily when we're about to go to sleep
right.
because we're not thinking about all the million things we have to do.
Right, exactly. You just had that one thing that you're doing. You're
That's
sleeping.
right.
That's it.
That's right.
And that goes
That
with
makes
anything
sense.
psychic, not just clairvoyant.
True.
So, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to Ready to Connect. If you're interested in exclusive behind-the-scenes content, be sure to like, share, and follow us on social media by searching for Ready to Connect Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And for those looking to further support our podcast, consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/readytoconnectpodcast. And until next time, get ready to connect.
This is a production of Artist Haven Media.